What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the very last maze announcement of 2018. And oh my god, what an announcement we got today. So for those of you who don't know, the final maze coming to Halloween Horror Nights 2018 is none other than Universal Monsters Music by Slash. And just before I even start talking about this, before we get into the tweets and everything like that, y'all gotta check out this trailer, because whoo, it's good. Check it out. I know. John, he's on his A game, bro. For reals. John, you're something else right now. You're something else. He's on a whole nother level. Like, we're all like right here. Yo, John's on that spectral plane, you know what I'm saying? He's like, oh. But anyways, it's such a cool trailer, and just the concept of this maze itself is really cool. I know us, Thomas, Mr. E, and myself included, we all miss the House of Horrors that used to be at Universal Studios out here in Hollywood, and we've basically been petitioning and just kind of complaining for it to come back. I mean, obviously we got The Walking Dead all-day attraction, which, I mean, it's cool, whatever, but it ain't no House of Horrors. House of Horrors was, it was up there. It was something else. Oh, it was so good. And now that we're getting Universal Monsters back, it just kind of like, it almost brings like nostalgia into my heart. Because obviously these are, monsters of old and everything like that. But it's just like, it brings back memories of the House of Horrors and just all these good memories that we have. Before I get all sentimental and everything like that, let's read some of the tweets that John Murdy released about this maze. He released some information. Not a lot, although there are a few tweets that we're going to read. But yeah, a lot of what he's going to talk about this maze is going to be presented at Scare LA this weekend. So if you guys are out there this Sunday, definitely check out that panel. Let's read some tweets. But I will give you some info now. This maze is going on the upper lot of the theme park. It begins in the Universal Plaza and also occupies the area known as Parisian Courtyard and French Street, which is a scare zone connected to the maze called Monster Masquerade. I'm sure this maze is no surprise to anyone who's been in the park recently. Kinda hard to hide the ruins of Dr. Frankenstein's castle peeking up over the construction wall. Obviously couldn't say anything until now. Yes, you were right. Good eye, boys and ghouls. In some ways, this maze goes back to 1971 when I first saw Frankenstein when I was 4 years old. From that moment on, I became obsessed with Universal Monsters, and I have spent my professional life trying to promote them in any way I could. But I've always resisted bringing them to HHN with the exception of Monsters Remix and some individual film tie-ins. Finally, I decided it was time to take on this great legacy and see if we could make it work for a modern horror audience. A great challenge and a great honor. I've amassed one of the world's largest collection of Universal Monster memorabilia in my personal collection and would often write HHN mazes in the Monster Room in my house in California. But until now, I've never tried to truly take on this great brand. Now it's time. This is definitely our take on the monsters and is in many ways an original maze that Chris, I, and the team are creating. The influence/research run the gambit from Highgate Cemetery in London to Jim Morrison's grave in Paris to the bog bodies of my adopted home in Ireland. At the heart of all these stories/films, some of which are nearly 100 years old, and this year is the 200th anniversary of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, is true horror. Scary as anything you could put on screen, and that is the challenge we set for ourselves, to bring that out. The creative process of this journey began in November 2017 when I began working on this. We had a lot of help along the way, including our friends and colleagues at Dark Universe and Universal Pictures and the great creature/character designer Crash McCreary. Crash helped us with the key art for the maze, which in turn informed our design. You know this legendary work from the Jurassic Park and Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, Edward Scissorhands, AI, Batman Returns, and so many other films. And then there's Slash, the first person I called when I felt this maze had a chance of being made. From the first conversation, he was all in. Why? Because like me, he is a huge Universal Monster fan. I am incredibly honored to be collaborating with this musical legend again. Sometimes you work with people and you're tight during that process and you drift apart when it's all over. But not Slash. Ever since I met him in 2013, taking him through our Black Sabbath maze, we've been friends. One of the nicest people on the planet and legit music legend. I will say the music is going to surprise you. We all had to stretch on this project and challenge our preconceived notions, and Slash really stretched into all different types of music to serve the scenes. He composed a whole score. So excited to share it with you. So I hope to Hades you represent on Sunday, August 26th at 1:15 at Scare LA at the LA Convention Center, because I'm traveling 6,000 miles to be there and I'm bringing the goods. The behind the scenes you'll never see anywhere else. Be there, boys and ghouls. I'm out. Mic drop! And to think that's just a little taste of what John Murdy is bringing to Scare LA this year. And this just sounds so cool. It definitely sounds like this is a maze that John and Chris and all of them really put their heart and soul into, and I wouldn't be surprised if this turns out to be probably the best rated and fan voted maze of this year's event, and maybe of all time, who knows. But it definitely feels like this maze is just getting all the love and attention, and it's also really cool to see Slash is coming back. It's been a while since we've had a music maze. You know, we saw Slash a few years ago back at Clowns, presented by Slash, which was really cool. Obviously, we do miss Twisty. Is that his name, Twisty? Twister? And Slash coming to the event, I've heard really good things that he, like the tweets has said, he's really incorporated and worked in just almost this whole score for each of these different monsters. And John Murdy actually said that he wants to incorporate the music with the monsters into like their separate areas, and he said like the music is also going to be a big part of that fear that you're going to experience in this maze. It's just that like little extra step that's going to be to enhance the experience and bring like that true fear out into this, you know, maze. But anyways, this maze definitely seems really cool. Obviously, I'm really excited to see how they're gonna transition that like ending of the maze into the scare zone that is Monsters Masquerade. That sounds really cool, and of course we can expect to see some crazy monsters in here. I'm really interested in seeing how they're going to convert these old monsters into kind of a more modern age feel and look to them, or if they're gonna like keep it with the classics. But here are actually a few monsters that you can expect to be in the maze. The Wolfman, the Invisible Man, the Phantom of the Opera, Dracula, Dracula's Bride, Frankenstein's Monster, the Bride of Frankenstein, the Mummy, just to name a few. Woo! That is a lot of monsters just right there in itself. And it's crazy to think that there's gonna be even more monsters in there. This definitely does seem like a really long maze too. If you guys check out our construction videos, this maze does start off at Mel's Diner at Universal Studios Hollywood and goes all the way to the end of and goes all the way into the Minions area. But the exit's obviously going to be out in French Street, but it does still seem like a pretty big maze, and I'm just really excited to go through it. I'm also really curious to see if my boy is gonna be there, because as you all know, Thomas, Mr. E, and I are huge fans of the Universal Classic Monsters, but there's one monster in particular he's special to my heart, and he's right there. He's that giant poster I have that I sit under and think and contemplate all my life decisions. The creature from the Black Lagoon. So John Murdy, my boy better be represented. I better be seeing that creature, because I'm getting chills. But I think I'm gonna fall in love with this maze if I get to see the creature from the Black Lagoon, because it's really special to me, and I just can't wait. But I would love to know what you guys think about this maze. Are you guys excited for Universal Monsters music by Slash? Let me know in the comments down below. We are so close to the horror season, people. It is ridiculous. This is gonna be a crazy just horror haunt season this year, and I'm ready to share it with all you guys. You know, I hope the league is ready, because there's gonna be a lot of good stuff coming out on this channel, so definitely stay tuned for all that. If you like this video, why not consider subscribing and join the league? While you're there, why don't you hit that like button, and if you do want to be notified on our next video and whatever else that we're going to come up with, definitely hit that bell notification to be notified when our videos go up. If you want to follow us on social media, you can go ahead and follow us on Twitter at TLE Tweets, on Instagram at TLE Pics. You guys should follow our podcast social media as well at Pick Your Brain Podcast at Twitter and Instagram as well. And that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys are super excited for Universal's Monsters, music by Slash. You already know Thomas, Mr. E, and I are. And yeah, so that's going to do it. I've been your boy Josue. I'll see you guys in the next video. Creature from the Black Lagoon better be in this maze.